Hello everyone, in today's video, I'm going to explain why I think the market gets a bit of a pullback soon. I could be wrong, most of the time I'm not, but the market is starting to show some topping signals. I could be wrong. But in today's video, we're going to take a look at the large tech stocks, the SP500, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the VIX. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's get started. So what we're first going to do is we're going to look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is very, very important to monitor because it has the biggest impact in terms of large tech stocks. It's the biggest AI chip-related stock, right? So it is a big market mover. Definitely top 3 most important tech stocks to look at. So NVIDIA, you could see that NVIDIA is at a major level of resistance here. The 144 level on NVIDIA, very, very important. So if we rallied, right? So now just think about this from a trading standpoint, okay? If we rallied into a major level of resistance here, is this now the time where you want to start going long? No, absolutely not. This is much rather the time where you would want to either take profits or start to go short, okay? So with that being said, NVIDIA is getting to a major level of resistance, starting to show some weakness here, clearly with a big red candle reversal off of this level of resistance. Next, let's take a look at AMD. So AMD is obviously also a very big player in the chip space, right? You could see that it gapped up and had a red close. This is not the most bullish situation for AMD, nor is it the most bullish situation for NVIDIA. AMD is also the equivalent of NVIDIA 144 is this AMD 129 level. And you can see that AMD is still trading below that level and obviously not as strong as NVIDIA because AMD is the weaker of the two. With that being said, both of these are not showing the most bullish situations as we are approaching levels of resistance, okay? So NVIDIA and AMD not looking great. One stock that is looking great is Microsoft. So Microsoft is continuing to do well. This is not the obvious, most clearest bearish situation, obviously, on Microsoft. But this is not an ideal situation for bulls either, okay? Apple also looks not great. So Apple has been chopping for the past few months. And you could clearly see we're having trouble staying above the 200 and specifically the 203 level on Apple. This is begging the question of whether or not 197 can hold on Apple. If that does not hold, then we're going to most likely retest 190 on Apple. And if that occurs, Apple is a big mover in the market. If Apple starts to pull back and show weakness, it's a good indication that other stocks are also going to show weakness. Okay? Google also at a level of resistance, very important major level of resistance, 183, and showing some weakness here. Very, very similar situation, very similar setup to NVIDIA. Major level of resistance, showing some weakness. Is this bullish? No, not in my opinion. Okay. And next, Tesla. Tesla also clear cut. Obviously got a bit of a bounce due to the Trump and the Elon news, etc., right? But if Tesla can't break above 340, then the overall market in general is also going to show some weakness. We might see a bounce to around this 345, 350 level on Tesla. But regardless, there's not much more room to go to the upside, in my opinion. We had such a huge move to the upside in we had about a 20% bounce in less than a week of trading days. So generally when that occurs, it doesn't continue so aggressively, right? This is not a COVID crash sort of bounce, right? So with that being said, Tesla is most likely going to start showing some stagnation as well. Netflix not looking too great either. Netflix had a few days of a sell-off after the highs and clearly having some trouble above 1230. Last two, we have Amazon here. Clearly also showing a bit of a topping signal. not showing the most strength, right? Clear cut, right? Amazon is doing that. Last but not least, Meta, same concept. Meta is not doing great either, okay? So how many of these stocks did we see that are not showing extreme strength? We saw Microsoft, Meta, Google, Meta, Netflix, Apple, Tesla-ish a little bit, and NVDA and AMD. So that's a large chunk of these large tech stocks that are not showing a lot of strength, right? So that makes it a bit difficult to just be aggressively bullish, okay? So I hope that, we have to monitor these large tech stocks in conjunction with each other because it'll help give a solid understanding of where the market wants to go. But to really, really just drill it home, right, what I like to look at is the VIX. So the VIX is sitting at this $17 level of support that we've been monitoring for a very long time. When the reason why the VIX is so important to monitor is because the VIX has an inverse relationship to the market. If the VIX rises and it's showing strength, that means the overall market wants to get a bit of a pullback. So if the VIX starts to bounce off of these levels here, that means the overall market should be getting a bit of a pullback. That is what I'm assuming is going to end up happening if this $17 level continues to hold. And everything is basically pointed to a bit of a pullback. If the SPX cannot hold the 60-30 level and we get a breakdown lower, the risk reward to the downside is very, very delicious, actually. So this is a really, really good shorting opportunity. Just purely based on everything that we saw, this becomes a very good shorting opportunity, in my opinion. So that was the SPX, the NASDAQ, similar situation here. And just things are starting to look like a good opportunity to go short. We saw a huge bounce in Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. I mean, this is, we got a huge bounce up. Is this really the time where you want to start becoming aggressively bullish on Bitcoin? No, you don't, right? So I hope this makes sense. We put the whole thing together. This is my thesis. We should be getting a bit of a pullback. That 60-30 level on the SPX is very, very important to monitor. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow, most likely. All right. So I'll see you guys. Take care. Have a good one.